Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you guys are, what time you're watching this, I don't know. Anyways, I'm Novacore, and today I'm going to be showcasing a track that gave me recent success throughout YouTube. The track called Another World. I'll put the song in the description if you guys haven't heard it. I don't know why you would be watching this if you haven't heard it, but whatever. Let's get right into it. So I decided to do one of these videos because I don't know if I'm sure you guys have heard of Varian and Rogue and all those guys from Monster Cat, but they did showcases of their songs, and I thought it was a good way that they connected with their fans, so I decided I would do one too. So anyways, let's get started. The intro is pretty much just a chord progression that I made along with some I used the Nexus piano, but people are like, "Oh, Nexus is crap" all over YouTube, but some pros use it. Like if you guys have heard of Dodge and Fusky, I heard in an interview that they use it, but this is a little plugin that I worked on, and I use this to add some like a extra reverb and an extra delay kind of effect because I felt the fruity reverb. Sorry, I got a little bit of a cold. And fruity delay. I added it to this track originally, but I felt it didn't do it justice, and I was fooling around with schematic, and that happened. And I also EQ'd it, pretty basic EQing, and this was just to modify, automate the cutoff right at the beginning here, so it can kind of have like going from quiet to loud kind of a thing when all this stuff comes in. And I've also got a white noise, not white noise, but it's a Nexus sample called War Behind Hill. Overall, it's pretty quiet right now. And then I also have a downlifter that I don't even think I put it in the mixer, but I turned the volume way the heck down in the intro. And so the intro basically, first of all, I'd like to apologize for any crackling that happens. I can't use ASIO because I couldn't record my voice, and I also can't use my interface, which I just recently got. So I apologize for crackling, but the intro, if you guys haven't heard it, sounds like this. Alright, so pretty simple intro, and then I added a very basic piano melody over here. It'll sound gentle right now because of the automation at the beginning, but whatever. So that was overall pretty basic, and I also used a cello sample from Nexus, and I recently got Contact, so from now on the cello and violin samples are going to be so much better because Contact is just awesome like that. But nevertheless, in this song I used Nexus as well. And in regards to the cello, I added a fast LP. I originally put the cello in the beginning, and that's the whole purpose for this fast LP. But I got rid of it because it sounded shitty. So I don't even know why it's still there, but I kept it there. Also, I put some reverb on it to give it make it sound wider, and I EQ'd it to take the high end completely off. Almost completely off, I should say, because I didn't want to completely get rid of it and take some of the bass out. And that goes for this part. And then also for this variation, it's the same melody overall, but I just made it have octaves rather than just the one note thing that you heard right here. I just added an octave above to make it sound, I don't know, fuller. I also added a guitar sample from Vengeance. Not Vengeance, I keep saying Vengeance. Nexus as well. I originally had chords, but the chords sounded crap, so I just used the one note. And again, fast LP. That was just to take the cutoff off a little bit. And then I EQ'd it. Simple EQing. And this voice sample right here it came with FL Studio. Originally, I heard the voice sample and I was like, man, this would sound so good if you could add some effects to it. So I faded it in a little bit and faded it out quite a bit. Overall, it sounded alright. I also added some reverb and some delay to it to make it sound more full, I guess you could say. So I'll find the sample. I think it's right here. Yeah, that was the original sample, and I faded it out to get rid of that pointless, like, I don't know, extra thing she did there. And then this sample is pretty much, sorry, same thing as the first one. I just used Edison to take out to fade it in completely. And I faded it out a little bit on here. And I added some reverb and delay that are the exact same measurements as this one. That's what that one sounds like. And I just added it to the original, to this over here, this progression. And adding the octaves and all that really made it sound better. And then I added a simple sample inspired by Blackmail from Friend. So if you guys are like, because I've been getting a lot like, oh, the first drum set sounds a lot like Friend by Blackmail. Yes, it was inspired by Blackmail, so there you go. I used a Vengeance kick. It sounds hard, but when you use it in the song, it's not as hard as you think. I used this hi-hat and this one. And I used this Vengeance snare too. Again, it sounds hard. It sounds hard right here, but I'm working on remastering this song when I put it on iTunes on my Forbidden Nightmares album, so I've already started with the remastering process. And then this sweep, I use this sweep in Reality Shock as well. Overall, it's a pretty good sweep. I'll just play this part for you with the intro drum. So overall, that was the kind of intro to the Rise, which is right here. And all the Rise is, I added this pluck right here. Pretty good. And that was the beginning of the Rise, and I also I used the cutoff that was right in Nexus rather than putting a fast LP on it, because I felt like it would give it more, I don't know, make it sound better overall, because the other stuff, the fast LP sounded better, but not this one. And then I just added the full chords from the intro in plucked form in the second part of the Rise. And then down here it's just the drums adding in. These two or these four are the kick, just simple kick. And then I added claps here. And then the kick and claps start going off, and then right here it's just the kick and a snare, along with something else. I also added a very simple, very basic, just a sine wave bass. With this bass, all I did was EQ it to take the high end completely off, and originally I had the low end raised, but then I sidechained it with the kick, and the bass just, you couldn't hear it, so I just left it where it was. And in the Rise it sounded pretty good, even though you can't really hear it. It does really make a difference. And this one right too, all I did was sidechain this sample with the kick, and this was from Nexus as well. Hold on, let me find it. There we go. I used a Super Meets Hyper, and with this one, I EQ'd it to take the low end off. I used a dimension expander, which is, this one is basically the dimension expander that comes with Massive, except it's its own little plugin. Also added some subtle reverb to it, just to give it more, I don't know what you call it, like, I don't know. And then I added some fast LP as well, for God knows why. Oh, it's right here. So I use the fast LP to modify the cutoff, which is what I always do. And pretty much right here, the rise is very, very simple. It's just all these samples. I also added the cello, which is the same thing as this right over here, except that it's the higher 2 of the chord in this. And if you're wondering for this right here, this was just a sample I got from Vengeance, and might get some hate that I used a Vengeance drum fill rather than making my own, but hey, that's life. I don't know, but the original sounded like this, and I took out the very last section here to make room for the snare, so it sounds again. Hold on, I'll go back here. Sounds. So yeah, just to make room for that snare to make the drop have more emphasis. And this drop looks very complicated. I'll even say that, and I was very proud of myself for making it look complicated, because I usually don't do that. But anyways. This sample right here, which is, everyone's probably wondering, oh, how'd you make this? But it's very simple overall. It's a combination of 4 sounds. The basic sine wave for the bass that you heard in the beginning, and that was really the bass sound. And then I added the ARP, which was used in the rise. The Super Meets Hyper. And I just raised the attack. And this one was a massive patch that I made a while ago. And I'm not going to showcase it because I'm very protective over it. It's a basic super saw kind of a style or whatever. And then I just added some FM voice, like female voice to it from Nexus, just to give it a little more sound. And it really does make a difference overall in the song. People may not notice, but I find that it makes a difference overall. So that was that. And anyways, right here as well. This is just a cutoff from the piano pattern in the beginning. That's all this is right here. And I also, the drum sample is very simple. It's just these are just all sidechain channels, so that's not complicated at all. And snare and a clap. The snare from the beginning, and I added the clap from the rise too, to make it sound better. And for the wobbles, I used another massive patch. If massive wouldn't lag, there we go. It's just a basic sub bass LFO. And then I used this citrus sample that I use all the time. I used it in Glowworm, and I used it in Reality Shock as well. I really should make another bass, but this one does it justice overall. It may sound like heavy or whatever in Citrus, but all this automation right here as well is I'll show you. It's the green is this right here, X, and the red is the Y over here. So it's pretty much just to make this go like that, so it can make it wobble, kind of a thing. And then this one right here, these automation clips, these are just channel volumes for the vocal samples right here. And then I also added, I don't know what this is, hold on. Oh yeah, this is just the War Behind Hill thing. And then I made this sample a very, very, very extremely long time ago when I first got FL Studio. I made this sample in Citrus, and I couldn't transfer the file for some reason because it was corrupted. So using an old file, I used Edison. And I used this to automate it, the original Vengeance sample. And yeah, and I forget what I added to it. Just EQ to take the bass out, and some reverb to make it sound, again, thicker. So overall, this sound was it was grabbed by Vengeance, but I used I resampled it a long time ago and did whatever to it, so I kind of just did that again. And what else is there over here? Oh, these automation clips are for the attack on the massive patch, on the FM voices, and on the ARP. Pretty much because when it's sidechained, it didn't sound as full. So I turned the attack completely off so that the sidechain would have more. So the sidechain would have less effect, so that the sound could sound just as full as the full sidechain effect. So yeah, that's what that sounded like. And the only sound that I did not make is this sound. Hold on. Right here. And this one was from Vengeance. And I didn't harmor it or anything like the other one. But this one, I thought it sounded shitty at first. But then I EQ'd it, basic EQing, added some reverb and dimension expander to make it sound better. And overall it sounded better. And then just a drop sample as well, which I could have done by automating the cutoff for the bass that I used in the intro here, down here somewhere. But I'm lazy as heck and I didn't want to do that. So yeah, that's pretty much the drop. Those are all the sounds I used. I just kept droning. Not that. Sorry. I love this sound. Like this song was inspired by it was sort of like a blackmail and Xylent kind of a theme I wanted to get across. So blackmail meets Xylent kind of thing. And if you don't know who either of them are, look them up, because they're both really, really good. And for this part, after the drop, I just added the sweep to make the drop sound more complete. I don't know. And then this part after the drop is just a pluck pattern initially as well. And then I took it out. This one was just to really give it some after effects after the drop to make it sound more like it meets the drop kind of a thing. And then I took the plucks right out because I found it sounded better. And then I added this piano melody using the sample from Nexus. Sorry about that, my mic's being gay. Uh, anyways, this part over here, stupid mic. Anyways, this part over here, it's just the same thing, just to introduce the rise. And that's pretty much the song. The exit's just the same as the intro. So subscribe. If you like this video, I'm going to showcase Glowworm as well. And subscribe to Cyrix as well. He really helps support me with this song. And if you like this video, please like, favorite, subscribe, and I'll do more of these. I'll see you guys next time.